Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at some of the products that First Lite has to offer so we can answer the question, is First Lite worth the money? Now that answer is going to be a little bit different for everybody based on a number of factors, but I'm just going to take you through some of the gear that I've personally worn. I'll let you know how it's performed, to give you my thoughts, and give you my honest opinion as to whether or not First Lite is worth the money. Now, like I said, that answer is going to be a little bit different for everybody, and First Lite can get pretty expensive. So if you're someone who doesn't really hunt very often, or you don't really hunt in the worst conditions, First Lite may not be for you. But I'm going to give you my review as somebody who hunts year-round. I hunt all kinds of different game, and I primarily hunt in Wisconsin where things can get really cold. It can be snowy and windy and rainy, so I need gear that can withstand all of those elements and still be very durable and last for seasons and for years to come. So let's start off with base layers. First Lite calls these their furnace base layers, and they're the warmest base layer product that First Lite has to offer. I have found these to be a great balance between keeping you very warm while you're sitting on stand, but also not allowing you to overheat on your walk into the stand or on a deer drive, or any sort of hunting where you might be mobile, pretty active, and you don't want to overheat and get super sweaty on your way in, which will then lead to you getting cold when you're just sitting there. I found these to be a great balance, and they do a great job of keeping you warm while you're just sitting there and not allowing you to overheat on your walk in. So as far as First Lite products goes, these are probably some of the least feature-rich products that they have, just because they're a base layer, but I have found them to be very quiet, very soft. They're made out of merino wool, so they do a great job at wicking away moisture and controlling scent. And one of the main features that they do have are these thumb loops on the top, so that when you're going to put on layers over top, you can put your thumb through the loop, and then your sleeves won't ride up and you have to try and pull them back out. It's a small feature, but something that I really enjoy. And these bottoms are pretty standard as far as bottoms go, but like I said, just the material that they're made out of and the construction that First Lite has, they've been very durable, very warm, very quiet, and they've really done their job. So the bottoms retail for about $110, the tops retail for about $140. So for the set, you're looking at about 250 bucks, which certainly is very expensive, but I have no complaints about these. I've had no problems. I really love how warm they are without getting too overheated. You really can't stress that enough, that you gotta have that balance, and these products have been really good with that. So I would highly recommend them, and I would say for me, they've been well worth the money. All right, so moving on from the base layers, this is First Lite's insulated SOLITUDE vest. So this vest can be worn as an outer layer, maybe during like the mid-season where you don't need a full jacket, but a vest would be nice, or it can be worn as a mid-layer during the late season when you're gonna need that jacket, you're gonna need that bibs, but it's a great insulating piece to throw on over top your base layers. So this jacket is made specifically for their whitetail collection, and it's in their Spectre camo, which again is made specifically for their whitetail collection. So just to touch on their camo a little bit, it's definitely unlike a traditional mossy oak or a real tree. It's got, you know, a little bit more of that digital aspect to it. You know, as far as camo patterns go, it really ends up just being about taste. It's something that I like. I personally like this pattern. I think it looks cool. I think it blends in well, and that's really what matters. But obviously what we see and what deer see can be two totally different things. Ultimately, I think most people agree, no matter what you're wearing, scent control and your visual control are things that you still need to take into account. No matter how scent controlled a product is, if you're hunting upwind of a deer, they're gonna smell you. And if you're making all kinds of movements or you're not really covered very well, they're gonna pick you off. So you really can't rely on any apparel to control the way that deer see you or to control your scent. But I have found that these First Lite products do a pretty good job at controlling scent when maybe there's a swirling wind, or you know, you have to get into a stand where the wind isn't perfect. These have done a good job of that. And as far as the camo patterns go, haven't had any complaints there either. So this little vest is pretty feature rich. It's got quiet zippers. These far side zippers open up all the way. So this goes all the way through into the vest. That would be like for when you're walking in. If you don't want to get too warm, you can open this up. It'll let some of that air flow through there. So you don't have to get too warm, but you also don't have to take the vest off and walk in without it. So that's kind of a good compromise there. So after that, you obviously have these zippered pockets here, and they do have this lining in them to kind of fit snugly around your wrist to keep out wind and rain and snow and all of that good stuff. Chest pockets up here, and it does have the loop in the back so that you can feed your safety harness through, which is a feature that not everything has had in the past. I'm seeing it more and more and more lately now. Everything kind of has that. It's a must-have. You got to have it. You can't just send your harness out through the top of your hood, or what. It doesn't work nearly as good. And all of these First Lite products are all linked up to keep that same system. So the hole in the vest matches up with the hole in the jacket, so on and so forth. So you can feed that safety harness through, and that's a really nice feature. So this insulated vest retails for $210, which again, it's a pretty big investment, but this is one of the more versatile pieces that they have because, like I said earlier, you can wear this as a mid layer or an outer layer. So it just gives you a little bit more functionality that way, whereas like with a jacket, you know, you can't really wear that early on in the season. It's going to be a little bit too warm. But this you can pretty much wear, you know, for us in Wisconsin, you're looking already mid to late October. It's going to be cold enough where you could wear just this as an outer layer, as a vest, still keep your arms free, but it's going to keep your core warm. And then all the way through the rest of the season, you can wear this either as an outer layer on those warmer days or more of a mid layer on the colder days. Very versatile, and I have found this to be well worth the money. This is one of my favorite pieces, and yeah, I would highly recommend this at $210. To me, I would say this product is well worth it. All right, so next up are First Lite's outer layers. These are the warmest ones that they have to offer for their deer hunting line. These are the Sanctuary 2.0 jacket and bibs, and these are also in First Lite Spectre. So both of these products are windproof. They're both water resistant. The bibs have a waterproof seat, which I have found to be a very nice feature. There's been a lot of times getting into my deer stand where that seat is wet, whether it's from rain or snow or dew. There's lots of other applications, whether it's late season fall turkey hunting where you might be sitting on a snowy ground, or just anything that you might be up to where you're going to have to sit on something that's going to be cold and wet. Having that waterproof seat is a very key feature. So for these products, I have found, just like with everything, the zippers are pretty quiet, but for a zipper, it's kind of hard to get all of the noise out of the way, but they're pretty good. These front pockets are nice. They've got this added fabric in here so that your hand gets in there and it squeezes right around your wrist so that it's harder for wind and snow and other elements to get in there. That's a really nice feature. Once again, this material is very soft, it's very comfortable, not super noisy. And as far as jackets go, it's pretty slim. It's got a slim cut to it. It's slimmer through the arms and the chest area, which is specifically made for bow hunting. So if you're going to be late season bow hunting into, you know, winter months where the temperatures are going to drop and you need a much warmer setup, these were really great this year. Still being able to draw my bow back, not having a whole bunch of extra bulk in my arms or my strings might get caught. They've been really great for that. This stuff is all super lightweight, but it's packed with insulation. It keeps me very warm. And one of the best ways to stay warm is to be able to stay out of the wind. And I found that these do a great job of keeping that wind to a minimum. They're advertised as windproof, and I would say that they're about as close to windproof as anything really could get. You just, when the wind is blowing and your tree is swaying, I never felt any wind coming through the jacket or through the bibs. And the way it's constructed, the zipper through the neck does come up high enough where, you know, you're not going to get a lot of wind going down. And especially if you pair it with some of the other products that they have, whether it be the face mask or, you know, things of that nature, you can really do a good job of keeping that wind under control. And that is a huge, huge aspect of staying warm. The straps on these bibs have been very easy to adjust. So if you have more layers on underneath and you need a little bit more room, they're very quick and easy to maneuver. They've been very durable. Absolutely no problems there. And the little clips are very nice as well. They fit right over top of your boots without, again, being too bulky. So they keep a lot of that bulk to a minimum. They're basically like just the right fit. They're not too big, but they're also not too small. They just do a great all-around job. The bibs have these front pockets here that are magnetic. So there's little magnets on the inside there that keeps these down. And then a zipper here to go as well, along with a zipper in this front upper pouch and an open pocket here. Both of these products have pockets galore. The jacket comes with the hole in the back of it that you can feed your harness through. I found that to be a very useful tool. And the concern there would be, obviously, if you cut a hole in the back of your jacket, now are you going to get that cold and that wind and all that stuff through there? But from my experience, the way that it overlaps, it hasn't been an issue for me. So let's look at the pricing on these items now. So these are $375 each. So the jacket's $375, the bibs are $375. So if you're looking to buy both, it's a pretty big investment. The one saving grace here is that First Lite does run quite a few sales throughout the year where you can get significant discounts. Sometimes it's 10, 20, 30, even 40%. And that helps out a ton when you're looking to add some of these items to your collection. And certainly some of these more expensive items, anytime you can get those discounts, it's a huge savings. So I highly recommend, if you're looking to purchase something like this, make sure you do it during one of those big sales so you can get a little bit cheaper on these products. But for me, being from Wisconsin, having to hunt when it's cold and snowy and windy and just generally crappy outside, you gotta have gear that's gonna be able to withstand all those elements. And this stuff has done just that. I have absolutely no complaints with it. And I can tell you with confidence, I would buy it again. You know, I recommend this stuff to anybody who is gonna be hunting when the conditions are cold and snowy and windy. This stuff does a great job. I had to wear it one weekend when it was pretty much raining the entire time. My seat stayed dry. The water resistance did hold up very, very nice. You could tell that the jacket and the bibs themselves got wet, but everything below it did not. And that's really what's key, 'cause I don't really care if this is wet. I just don't want that reaching my skin where it's gonna get me cold. And it didn't do that. This stuff held up to everything. I could put it through this year. And for anybody who also has to hunt when the conditions get pretty extreme like that, I would highly recommend these items, even despite the price tag. All right, so switching away from the camo for a little while, let's go to the blaze orange. So this is the vest that I wear anytime I need blaze orange. So whether that's gonna be the gun deer season, whether that's rabbit hunting, pheasant hunting, when I need an orange vest, this is my go-to. This is an area where if you were really looking to pinch the pennies, save your money, if you're just gonna wear this as an orange vest, you could probably save that money. I like the First Lite brand. I like their products. I like what they have and what they do. So for me, I wanted to keep my orange vest consistent with everything else that I wear. But if you're like, man, I don't know, I want to get First Lite stuff, but wherever I could save a little bit of money, if you just need an orange vest to throw on for deer season, or you need a blaze orange coat, you can go without that. But the nice thing about this vest is they do offer it in all sorts of different colors. So I wanted to have the orange vest in here, so I went with the orange. If you want it as more of a lightweight outer layer or a lighter weight mid layer to wear early season or maybe in that early mid season, they have all kinds of camo options, all kinds of solid color options. So, you know, as far as the vest goes, it is a great vest. It's much more lightweight, like I said. It's got these mesh zippered pockets here, so it's a little bit more breathable. They do have the chest pockets as well. So if you're looking for just like a lighter layer to have for early season and you want it to be camo, it's a great vest. I highly recommend the vest. If you want an orange vest and you're not afraid to pay the price tag on it, and you know you like the brand and you want to stick with it, I've had absolutely no problems with it. It's been very soft but yet durable, so when you rub it up against a tree or something that's a little bit pokey, it doesn't like grab it and tear it or anything. Everything's been very good on that. I've loved it. I would recommend it, and it's $150, so it's on the cheaper end as far as some of these First Lite products go, but again, it's not as warm. It doesn't have some of those features of being, you know, super windproof and water resistant and all those things. So as far as features go, it may be a little bit lower on that, but still, you know, it fits a need. And if you need the orange vest, that's the way to go for me. If you need just a lighter weight vest, you have all kinds of camo options, and it is a great vest. So again, I would highly recommend it. It's an area where if you're looking for orange and you want to pinch some pennies, you probably could do that here. But if you just want to fully switch and you're like, you know, if I'm going with First Lite, I want to get everything I have to be First Lite, which is, you know, kind of the position that I was in, absolutely no complaints here. It's been a great vest for me. And real quick, to just stick with the orange, they do have the Blaze Orange beanies. The orange is slightly different, but it also is kind of this lighting we have in here that's going to make it look a little bit different. This was basically my setup for deer season this year. This was the extent of my orange. It was just all of my regular First Lite products, and then this vest, this hat, and absolutely no complaints. So speaking of hats, let's go over some of the accessories that First Lite has to offer. So along with that hat, this is the same hat, just in a different color. So this is, again, their Spectre camo. Same hat as the orange one. It's been a great beanie. These retail for between 30 and 35 bucks, depending upon which color, which pattern you want to go with. So as far as beanies go, it's not really that much more expensive than some of the other hats that other brands would have to offer. So certainly in this category, it's one of those things where it's almost more of a no-brainer. Like, you know, you're going to be paying 30 bucks for a decent beanie regardless, so you might as well get it from First Lite if that's where everything else is going to come from, because it's a great product, and to me, I don't think it's overpriced at all. So sticking with headwear here, we've got their Tundra cold weather balaclava. So this is basically just a overhead face mask, so it just pulls up right over the head. It's got the space in there for your eyes, but it still covers your nose and your mouth. Something like this can go a long ways towards making your sit a little bit more enjoyable, just being that it can really cover up a lot of this head and neck area where if there's a constant wind or there's snow or rain and that stuff is what's all going to be exposed, your jacket and your bibs, you know, that's going to keep the rest of your body out of the elements, but keeping your head and neck, you know, warm and dry is a little bit tougher. And even with a hat, you can't really accomplish all that. So this is great. It's fuzzy on the inside, very soft, very nice, very warm, but still not overheating by any means. And it's thinner in the ear area so that you can still hear things. Obviously, when you're bow hunting, you got to be able to hear. It retails for about $50. So once again, it's going to be a little bit more expensive than just a regular hat, but something like this it's a game changer. It can go a long ways in making it easier to sit that much longer when you're on the stand. So these guys, if you have watched any hunting, like big time hunting YouTube channels, you've probably seen guys with these gloves on. They're 25 bucks. So it's not like it's a huge investment to get a pair of these. These are great because just like that Solitude vest that you can wear for the majority of the season, these you can wear year round. They're light enough that when it's warmer out, they're not too warm, but they still cover up your hands, just to kind of keep some of those elements out. And then as it gets, you know, further and further into the season, you can layer these with some warmer gloves. And then if you have to take that glove off to send a text or pull a trigger or something like that, you still have something on your hands, that it's not just a total bare hand that's going to get cold really, really quick. These have been great. They are fingerless at the end, so your fingertips can stick out, which is great. Again, if you need to be on a phone or using a camera or whatever, these are a great little pair of gloves, and I've seen a lot of people with them, and as soon as I got them, I knew exactly why, because they're very versatile. You can use them pretty much for anything and everything, and they're just a great pair of gloves. All right, last up for the accessories, this is one of my favorite First Lite products. This is their Sanctuary Insulated Hand Muff. As much as you could talk about gloves or warm pockets or whatever, hand muffs are just one of the best ways to keep your hands warm, especially if you might be in a situation where, you know, you want to have a glove off, so you can throw some hand warmers in here, go without any gloves, put your hands in there, and they stay warm. And then, you know, if you need to take your hands out to be on your phone, to work a camera, to move stuff around, whatever the case may be, you know, you can do so. And this makes it very, very easy. It's got a zipper up top, so you can put, you know, you could put snacks in there, you could put your phone in there, you could put whatever it is you want, you could put your license in there, you know, anything you need, game calls, whatever. Which is a great feature to have on a hand muff, because it's all right there. If you need something and, you know, there's a deer in sight where you don't want to have big movements, you don't have to store something somewhere. You know, let's say it's during the rut and you want to have a grunt call in here, you know, you only have to move your hands from here to get to it, not a big movement. But you also don't have to keep it then in with your hand warmers and whatever else in here to take up room. So that's a great feature. As you can see, very fuzzy, very soft, pretty thick, but still being lightweight. Just a basic clip, but very sturdy strap here, so that it can actually stay on. It's not going to rip and tear and whatever else. For 60 bucks, highly recommend this. If you get nothing else from First Lite, this is probably the thing to get. I absolutely love it. It's a game changer. The hand muff, it's a great product. Well worth the money, for sure. All right, so last item to talk about today are their boots. Now, if there's one place where you don't want to skimp out, that's footwear. You should never, ever, ever, ever buy cheap boots. You will certainly pay the price one way or another. Cheap boots are just never the way to go. You need a good, solid pair of boots above all else. And these boots have been really good to me so far. These are actually a LACROSSE boot. So this is not specifically a First Lite boot. These are made by LACROSSE. It's just a First Lite camo pattern. Once again, it's First Lite Spectre, so that matches with everything else. This is their specific whitetail camo. And then it's just a solid grayish brownish color for the base. And these have been really, really great. They've been durable, they've held up, super comfortable. You know, for me, there wasn't a huge break-in period. You know, they're obviously a little stiff to start, but pretty much after the first time I wore them, they were good to go, pretty well broken in. Maybe not to hike 20 miles in a day, but for walking your deer stand and back, very, very comfortable, pretty much right out of the box. Obviously they're waterproof, they're insulated. no complaints here. These have been a great boot. LACROSSE is a great brand. Many of you probably already have LACROSSE boots or have had LACROSSE boots in the past. Not a whole lot of bad things to say about them here. I like the way that the camel pattern is integrated into this fabric. Sometimes with certain materials, it can be tough to make it look good, but I really like it. But if you've ever had a cheap pair of boots like I have, where you get snow in your boots and they easily get cracks in them, and so water and snow leaks into there, and they're not very durable, not very comfortable. If you ever had cheap boots like that, it's a miserable experience. It can ruin a hunt. Even if everything else that you're wearing is perfect, you gotta have great boots. It makes all the difference in the world. And these boots from First Lite and LACROSSE have been nothing but great for me. A good expensive pair of boots, you can always expect to pay $180, $200, $250 plus. I mean, good boots are expensive. That's not really shocking. And so for these, I can say they've been well worth the money. As far as boots go, no complaints here. These have been great. I would say that they are well worth the money. And when it comes to boots, you should definitely pay the money. All right, guys, well, there you have it. We have taken a look at some of the products that First Lite has to offer. And I can honestly tell you that for me, these products have all been well worth the money. And even though these products can get a little pricey, I can honestly tell you guys from my experience, I have found all of this stuff to be very lightweight while still keeping you super warm. It's very comfortable, it's soft. The material stays really quiet. The boots have been very comfortable and warm and have been durable enough to withstand miles and miles of walking. Base layers have done a great job of keeping me warm without getting too overheated. And the mid and outer layers have done exactly what I've needed them to do, no matter when I'm hunting, where I'm hunting, or what conditions I may find myself hunting in. So if you're somebody like me who needs gear that's going to keep you the warmest, withstand the toughest elements, and be durable for years to come, then I can tell you from my experience, First Lite is well worth the money. If you've tried First Lite products before, or there's another brand that works well for you, share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on more content, and we'll see you guys next time.